Cori Bush. She's back. Oh, look, I'm disappearing because I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. Former squad member Representative Cori Bush's husband indicted for allegedly pocketing $20K in PPP loans. Not that kind of PPP loans, but PPP loans for personal benefit and enjoyment. No. I refuse. It's a cherry on top to believe this. This cannot be so. It should not be so. But yet here we are. I mean, this is what you call a no bueno. This is not good for the former squad member. Okay? Because this has to do with fraud. Has to do with being a lying liar who likes to lie. And as we all know, according to the prophet of 2024, and that all
lies will be exposed.
And they shall be exposed. And anyone's got a problem with it, F off. But here we go. So, the husband of former Representative Cori Bush allegedly bilked taxpayers out of more than $20,000 in a COVID loan scheme and used the money for his personal benefit and enjoyment, according to the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. Courtney Mertis, 46, was charged in a federal indictment Thursday with 2 counts of wire fraud related to alleged fraudulent applications he filed with Small Business Administration in 2020 and 2021 that allowed him to collect and never repay government funds from the pandemic-era Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, the EIDL, and Paycheck Protection Program, PPP. Again, Cori Bush's husband received $8,500 EIDL loan from the SBA for moving his business in July 2022 after certifying that his company, Vetted Couriers, had 6 employees and generated $32,000 in gross revenue the previous year, according to indictment. Oh, my goodness. The day after receiving the EIDL loan, Meredith filed another application with SBA through the same program for a different business, which he identified as Courtney Meredith, and claimed it employed 10 people and generated $50,000 in revenue. The ex-congresswoman's husband, oh my goodness, also required the EIDL advance of up to $10,000 based on the number of employees Courtney Meredith employed. The SBA rejected Meredith's application after determining that the documents were nearly identical to the prior one he submitted. The D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, headed by Ed Martin, claims Meredith lied about the number of employees he had and his revenues in the rejected applications. Nearly a year later, in April 2021, Meredith once again sought taxpayer money in the form of a PPP loan for Courtney Meredith. Oh my goodness. Again, what the heck? What are you doing? Notice that it's spelled differently, though, this time. This time, he claimed the business was created in 2020 and generated $128,000 in gross income that year. But those claims were also fraudulent, according to the indictment. Say it ain't so. However, the St. Louis man's application was not rejected, and he received $20,832 PPP loan. Meredith used the proceeds for his personal benefit and enjoyment, according to federal prosecutors. The indictment didn't include details of what exactly he blew through the cash on. Based on Meredith's alleged fraudulent representations, the SBA forgave the PPP loan in the amount of $20,832 and the $254.03 in interest the U.S. Attorney's Office added. The attorney for Meredith told the Washington Post that his client tends to plead not guilty. Not guilty. We look forward to litigating this case in the courtroom. Oh, God. The courtroom. Here we go. A snore fest. Bush, the former far-left squad congresswoman who lost her Missouri 1st District seat in 2024 election, is not accused of any wrongdoing in the indictment, but her husband is. And I wonder, what did she or did she not know? In 2023, Bush was slapped with a Federal Election Commission and congressional ethics complaint over money her campaign paid Meredith to provide security, even though he didn't have the required license. Now, many of you might be wondering, wait a minute, private security? Well, this was in the year, because we'll turn the rest of the article, but this was in the year in which she did have security, where she was asking for private security. Hold on, let's play it. This was when she was still in Congress.
I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending 200,000, if I spend 10 more dollars on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety.
The wealthy should pay their fair share.
Yes, wealthy should pay their fair share.
What is a fair share? What percentage?
So you're saying that you're saying that they're paying their fair share is what you're saying.
No, I'm asking what percentage is a fair share?
Their fair share, the same, if a third of my money is going to taxes, then I think a third of their money should be going to taxes. It does. Well, it does.
I'm trying to understand because you realize the effective tax rate on the poor is less than it is on the rich, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not the poor.
Yeah. It's a miracle she got elected in office in the first place. That's just me talking here, okay?
I'm very close to that line, but I'm not the poor.
Okay, so the effective tax rate on the middle class is less than it is on the rich, correct? What fair share would you like to change the tax rate to on the wealthiest, what percentage of Americans, so it's a fair share?
So let's say the wealthy 1% could pay, let's say if they pay, let's just give them 45%.
How did she get elected? I regret any kind word I ever said about the squad, because the next follow-up story to this is going to be crazy. There's a lot of internet drama with that one, but nonetheless, let me reread this again for the people who just tuned in, because in the first part of that video that I played, in 2023, Cori Bush, former Representative Congresswoman Cori Bush, was slapped with a Federal Election Commission and congressional ethics complaint over money her campaign paid her husband, Mertis, to provide security, even though he didn't have the required license. So what, just go ahead, have security, even though you don't have the proper license? The Defund the Police movement advocate allegedly used campaign funds for personal use when she shelled out $60K in 2022 for the services of Mertis, whom Bush later married in February of 2023. So it's like the bodyguard. Oh, and they say true love doesn't exist. According to the Nonpartisan Foundation for Accountability and Civic Trust Act fact. At the same time, the Bush campaign, Cori Bush's campaign, was paying Meredith for security. It was spending more than $225,000 on a St. Louis-based firm called Peace Security, and $50K on another security guard named Nathaniel Davis, Federal Election Commission's records show. The Justice Department was reportedly investigating Cori Bush last year over her use of money intended for members of Congress and Kansas to spend on private security. The status of the investigation is unknown, and the ex-congresswoman has not been charged. It all just comes crashing down, doesn't it? Warms my soul just a tiny little bit. Just a little bit. Seeing how all these politicians and their hypocrisy is being exposed. I mean, first of all, you have the status of her case that's still up in the air of, hiring and using it for a private security firm that doesn't even have a license, or at least her now husband. And the thing is, the question has to be asked, what did she know about what her husband was involved in, especially with the PPP loans? What did she or did she not know? I mean, come on. In the game of politics, people got to know. They have to know, unless she was caught off guard. But it all comes crashing down. Beware of those who proclaim themselves to be the most virtuous of people. It's easy to vilify Trump and Elon Musk. And look, I get it. They deserve criticism too. I mean, my goodness, they're not saints. Absolutely. Treat them the same way as you would anybody else. But I say, treat them all the same. Drag them through the coals. Don't put them on a pillar. Because sometimes the greatest evil can hide in the light. The most corrupt individuals could be in the bastions of liberty and justice, because there's corruption all around, evil all around. We'll see where this case goes forward, but knowing how Congress is, knowing how politics is, there's more to this story, and more will come to the surface. It's all the scum. Let all the poison in the mud hatch out. And if you know that reference, I love you.